speed is my motto, nothing's ever holding back.
Welcome back to the Lone Road iRacing podcast, the show where we break down the news, the features and the deep dive topics that matter most to the sim racing community. I'm your host, Guy Robertson, and today we've got a really exciting triple header episode covering three massive additions to the iRacing platform. As we heard last week on the devblog update, the Adelaide Street Circuit is coming to iRacing just over a week's time. It's a fan favourite real-world track finally landing on iRacing. Then there's the Miami International Autodrome. It's home of the modern F1 Miami Grand Prix and the new Porsche 992.2 GT3 Cup, bringing updated aero, handling and technology to the service. Today we're going to explore the history of these tracks, the challenges they bring to iRacers, and I'll take you on a full guided simulated lap of each venue. Then we'll break down the Porsche 992.2, what's changed and what skills iRacers will need to adapt to the new car. So strap in, this is a big one. We're going to start with the Adelaide Street Circuit. Few tracks in motorsport have an atmosphere or legacy quite like Adelaide. First run in 1985, it served as the original home of the Australian Grand Prix and instantly became one of the most memorable venues on the F1 calendar. Its tight barriers, high-speed sweepers and the iconic Victoria Park section created a unique challenge that demanded both bravery and finesse. Adelaide produced drama year after year, championship finales, title-deciding crashes and some of the most spirited drives in Australian motorsport. Even after F1 moved to Melbourne in 1996, Adelaide remained a powerhouse circuit in the world of supercars, becoming home to the Adelaide 500. Fans still argue it's the best street race ever designed, and honestly, they might be right. Now this legendary circuit is finally coming to iRacing, and that means a generation of drivers will experience the toughness of Adelaide on iRacing for the first time. What are the key challenges for iRacers? Adelaide is visually stunning, but don't let the skyline fool you. This place is ruthless. Street circuits always exaggerate bumps, crown angles and surface transitions. This means that braking markers, especially into turns 1, 6, 9 and 14, can be extremely punishing if you brake a metre too late. There is zero margin for error. Most mistakes are race ending. Understeer into the wall, oversteer into the wall, clip a curb wrong, it all ends the same way. A dead car and a tow to the pits. Adelaide also cooks rear tyres incredibly quickly, especially in GT3 cars or supercars. The exits from turn 9 and turn 14 are notorious for lighting up the rears. So, what is a big tip for this track for us, the iRacers? Adelaide rewards flow. If you hesitate through the Parkland section or the centre chicane, your lap evaporates. So on this track, rhythm is everything. Now, I'm going to try and walk us or talk us through your first lap, what you might experience on the first time in a car around the Adelaide. So turn 1 and 2 is the centre chicane. Hard braking, down multiple gears and onto the curb aggressively. The key is to commit. A timid entry loses a second instantly. Then you're into turn 3 and 4. Here you have to let the car breathe. These sweepers are deceptively quick but require total confidence. Turn 6 is known as stag turn. This one is tricky. The car lightens under braking due to subtle camber change. Trail brake gently and avoid rotating too early. Turn 7 and 8 is known as the kink. It's usually flat or nearly flat out here. Focus on car placement. A small correction kills exit speed. Turn 9 is a hairpin and probably the most technical corner on the circuit and its biggest passing zone. Brake D, rotate the car early and feed throttle smoothly on exit to manage wheel spin. And it sounds to me already that is a dive bomber's paradise, so that's something to watch out for in your mirrors. Then we're into the back straight. You're thinking about temperatures here, brake too late into turn 11 and you will lose the lap. Turns 11 to 14 are known as parklands. Fast left, right transitions, almost no runoff and a huge risk of clipping rear quarter panels on exit. And then you're into the final corner. Brake late and feather throttle. Hit the wall here and you're done. Miss an apex, your lap is ruined. Hit it perfectly and you feel like a hero. That's Adelaide, folks. One of the most rewarding, frustrating and exhilarating circuits we are going to drive very, very soon. Now, my opinion of what I've seen and what I've heard, this is going to be an iRacing favourite very, very quickly. Not too sure how it will drive with all the cars, but I'm definitely looking forward to driving it in maybe the Ray FF 1600 and maybe a GT3, especially the new Porsche. That might be interesting. But like all street circuits, they are risk and reward tracks. I'm definitely looking forward to giving this one a go in week 13. So I'll be back in a second and we're going to talk about the Miami International Autodrome. The Miami International Autodrome joined the F1 calendar in 2022. It was built as a temporary circuit constructed around Hard Rock Stadium. Unlike other street circuits, Miami is a hybrid, part street, part purpose-built F1 layout. It blends long straights, flowing mid-speed sections and an infamously technical slow section under the bridge. It's modern, it's stylish, and it has quickly become a recognisable location in global motorsport. So what are the challenges for the iRacers on this track? Mixed corner rhythm. Miami swings between fast corners, slow corners, and everything in between. Drivers must constantly adapt. Drafting will also define races. Racers must learn to time overtakes to avoid being repassed into turn 11. And then there's the technical chicane, corners 14 to 16. This section is tight, awkward, easy to destabilise the car and very punishing for track limits. High track temps, Miami is hot and exposed. Overdrive the car and you'll cut your tyres within a few laps. So here we go then, we're going to walk through a lap. Turn 1 to 3, a downhill braking zone into turn 1 means locking fronts is easy. You'll need to rotate the car early, then prepare immediately for turn 2's sweeping right-hander. Turns 4 to 8, this is where Miami becomes a bit of fun. A flowy sequence that rewards minimal steering input, so let the car dance. Turn 11 is a huge overtaking zone. Brake hard, almost to a stop, and force the car to pivot around the apex. Turns 14 to 16, one of the most slowest complexes on a modern circuit. Elevation changes and curbing mean precise inputs only here. Then you're into the back straight, the longest full throttle section on the circuit. Managing tyre temperatures is the difference between a good race and a painful one. And finally, turn 17, last chance to gain or lose time. Late apex, big exit speed, stay off the curb to avoid unsettling the car. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Miami rewards adaptability and punishes overconfidence. And don't forget, folks, iRacing are giving us 5 unique layouts of this track. So there's lots of ways to learn this track. And for me, that's what I will do. I will break it down to smaller sections until you've got it memorized with your muscles and your brain. Okay, I'm going to be back in a second and we're going to deep dive into the new Porsche 992.2. Finally then, we're now going to look at the new Porsche 992.2 coming to iRacing in a few weeks. The outgoing 992 car has been one of the most loved and most feared. One of the most strange vehicles, I suppose, on the service. You either love it or you hate it. It's brutally fast, insanely punishing, and demands perfection. And now we have the new 992.2, Porsche's real-world mid-cycle upgrade, bringing new aero, new power delivery characteristics, chassis refinements, and stability improvements. This isn't just a small visual update, the 992 meaningfully alters how the car behaves, and iRacers are going to have to adapt. So we're going to break it all down. We're going to look at what's new compared to the current 992, how the 992.2 performs differently, what handling changes you'll feel in the sim, what skills you must develop to get the most from it, and who will benefit, but more importantly, who might struggle. So the current Cup 992 is known for brutal throttle response, a savage torque spike, zero driver aids, a rear end that's always trying to rotate. The new 992.2 brings slightly higher power output. Porsche quietly increased horsepower and mid-range torque. So what does that mean to iRacing? Stronger acceleration off slower corners. Earlier torque onset means you cannot smash the throttle. More punishment for poor throttle control. So if you struggle with a 992 spinning under acceleration, the 992.2 will still bite you. It's a cup car. They don't get easier. But the 992.2 delivers the torque more smoothly, reducing that sudden kick that the current car is famous for. Expect more consistent performance over longer stints, less temperature sensitive behaviour, and a touch more predictability under repeat high-low conditions. It's also had an aero update, the single biggest difference. This is the area Porsche focused on most in designing the 992.2. There's more front downforce. The outgoing 992 tends to be a little bit understeery, heavily into medium speed corners. It has snap oversteer at times if you try to fix it with throttle. Where the 992.2 increase front aero is going to give better initial rotation, more stable turning, and less push on corner entry. Expect iRacers to instantly feel this in turn 1 at any track. Excuse me. More efficient rear wing. Not necessarily more downforce, but cleaner aero. That's going to give us better stability in fast sweepers, more confidence in mid-corner, and more predictable rotation. The old 992 at times was too floaty at high speed. The new one compresses better and it will feel more planted. The suspension and chassis, as always, has again had some refinement. The 992.2 incorporates all real-world updates, revised damper tuning, slightly different spring rates, new geometry that improves rear stability, and reduced weight transfer in transitions. So the output for the iRacers is more confidence in direction changes, less snap oversteer on exit, and more forgiving low transitions. This is what will make the 992.2 feel like a step forward. It still demands skill, but the 992's knife edge unpredictability has been softened. So what about braking then? You're going to notice a considerable improvement. One of the most challenging aspects of the current 992 is the rear stepping out under hard braking. It always feels like its ass wants to get to its front. Difficulty trail braking into hairpins and ultra sensitive ABS free lockups. The new 992 will benefit from a more stable rear suspension, better brake cooling, improved front end aero grip under load. In practice, this gives the iRacers more confidence during trail braking, more stable rear end under heavy braking, and less rotation at that absolute wrong moment. You can brake deeper basically but you still have to be tidy. Setup impacts for iRacers. So the 992 car in iRacing has limited setup flexibility, but the new 992.2's new characteristics change what the optimal direction will be. Expect setups to shift towards more aggressive rotation because the car is more stable, lower rear ride heights to exploit the cleaner aero, and slightly softer rear springs to maintain exit traction. More front camber because the front end new loads more efficiently. This car should be faster and more consistent over a race distance. So we're going to look at some side-by-side comparisons now of the outgoing 992 versus the new 992.2. So expected lap time differences on shorter tracks, 0.1 to 0.03 seconds faster, medium-sized tracks 0.3 to 0.6 faster, and aero heavy circuits 0.7 probably plus seconds faster. So not a lot really. Let's break it down into some more side-by-side comparisons. So category turning in, the current 992 is weak and the 992.2 will be much improved in that area. Stability, current 992 is quite a nervy car and the new version will feel more planted. From a traction point of view, the current 992 is tricky and the 992.2 will be slightly better. Under braking, current one is unstable, and as we spoke about earlier, its ass wants to get to its front. And the 992.2, you should find a noticeable difference here. Oversteer on the current 992 is quite common, and in the 992.2 it'll be less violent, so you might be able to catch it. Race consistency hard for the current 992, and the new 992 it should be better. Lap time potential is high for the current 992 and even higher in the 992.2. But we must remember, folks, the 992 is still a cup car, but it's not the wild, unpredictable animal we've currently got. So, new skills iRacers will need to get the best out of this new Porsche. Smoother throttle application because of the stronger, earlier torque band. Precise trail braking, the car rewards deeper braking zones, but only if you're precise. Earlier turning commitment thanks to the more stable aero platform. Faster hands in mid-corner corrections. The chassis is less crazy, but it's still lively. Better weight transfer management. The car punishes quick, jerky inputs. Understanding aero balance changes, especially important when following traffic, cornering at high speed, running low fuel, or driving on banking. And finally, patience on exit. The 992.2 is more forgiving, but it's not a GT3 car. No traction control, no ABS, no electronic help whatsoever. Drivers coming from GT3 cars will still struggle. But who will thrive and who will not thrive in the new 992? People who drive with strong fundamentals, iRacers who are skilled in trail braking, drivers who like front-loaded car, those who enjoy high skill, high reward machinery, and people who struggled with a 992's unpredictability snap will find this car a bit more enjoyable. Who will struggle? Over aggressive drivers, GT3 drivers relying on ABS and traction control, drivers with poor throttle modulation, and people who rely on the car saving them. This car still won't save you. So to wrap up the Porsche 992, it is a true evolution, not a revolution. It still has the DNA of a cup monster. So it's still raw, rear, engined, no driver aids, and at its worst, terrifying at the limit. But the key changes in aero, suspension and braking stability make it a faster and more forgiving machine. In short, the Porsche 992 is still going to raise the skill ceiling and lower the frustration floor. It's faster, more modern, more importantly, more raceable. Okay, folks. Well, that's it for today's podcast. I'm really looking forward to the upcoming season here on iRacing, especially the Adelaide street circuit. I'm going to really enjoy that track, I can tell already. Not sure about Miami, and I'm not sure about the Porsche for me. I'm not a big Porsche driver. So until next time, viewers and listeners, don't forget to send me your views of some of the new content. What do you think to these new tracks and the new Porsche? Use the show's email in the show notes below. Look after yourself. This is the time to start keeping an eye on your SR as well, so you don't get demoted. Or if you're pushing for promotion, get it above 4. Until next week, happy iRacing, and I'll see you on the track soon.
Whatever it takes, we're racing, we're in the zone. Whatever it takes, we push hard, never alone. I'm in the cockpit, the engines roar, hear me now. We're racing circles, got a hustle made a vow. Chasing victory, it's all or nothing on the track. Speed is my motto, nothing's ever holding back. Whatever it takes, we're racing.